Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Happy Saturday to you. Quick look here, of course, at AVAX, seeing what's going on. We are going to double check a couple of things. We're looking pretty solid in the sense of breaking back up above this ascending trend. We're also getting closer to closing above the clouds, so we want to double check, see if the backend data tells us anything, any incentive for liquidation, etc. A lot of times you can take some good, sweet, long positions or short positions too, if the liquidation is right where you want it to be. So welcome aboard if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor. I really just love teaching people to trade. I have been trading for over 20 years now, and wow, time flies when you're having fun, right? Anyways, I have a Trading Academy community and Signals group. Check it out, link down below. We got a lot of new members coming over. Please, please, please read through our Signals guide that's available in our Discord, which is right here, but it's also available upon checkout. You're going to be provided with a copy of that, so please read through that. Do yourself a favor, just so you know how the signals work. So quickly to note here, this is the last 7 days of AVAX's liquidation. Heavy concentration at $50. We talked about that previously being a point of support. Is this a support level because of liquidation? No. It's a lot of liquidation accumulating at support because that's just kind of generally how it works. Same thing here as well with $58 even as a close approximate. So 50 to 58, and we are right at 54.5. So we're literally 60% of the way to the upper level here. Simply put, we're kind of in the middle, okay? So that's kind of the way to understand it, but the reason why that's important to recognize is because when you set targets, specifically profit targets, I don't know if you've noticed, taking some of my trades here or following some of my signals, you'll notice that I do tend to put profit targets right at specific liquidation levels, okay? And it's important to do that because you can get filled a lot easier if you use strategy with your profit taking. Okay. Anyways, daily time frame. Let's quickly note here for the simple moving averages, we're still above all four. Very few coins can say this. This is still a bullish coin. So AVAX is still looking pretty solid. We can also see stochastic swinging down, MACD divergence here. A lot of divergences on daily time frames for most coins because a lot of coins shot up for so long that they haven't looked back yet, and now there's a big old gap below the price action. So you do got to recognize too that there's not a lot of volume between 53 and 44. Okay, look at this here. It's a pretty big gap. So just generally speaking, that could eventually get filled. That's not necessarily a fair value gap, but there is value there if you think about it. Anyways, just something to kind of think about there. Big picture. Truth is here though that we're over 50 on the RSI. Not a lot of coins can say that too. Money flow index is still remaining quite high. Okay, so I think the daily time frame looks more bullish than bearish. And then if we take a look here at RSI, we can see we're testing 50 on the RSI, which is a sweet spot. We can also confirm as well that we have this, the MACD, the stochastic RSI is trying to swing back and money flow is pulling down. So we don't have a ton of money flowing into this coin. I mean, you can see it right here. Generally speaking, this is not a strong contributing factor to want to take a long position. It just implies that there's weakness in the price action. And when you see that, it just means there's less sustainability, okay? So although this looks pretty nice here and juicy for a long, I would be careful because it's kind of like a false positive, okay? The bottom could literally drop out. All right, so again, not trying to concern you, just letting you know the facts. MACD is converging here. That's usually a positive sign, generally construed as good. And of course, when we take a look at the bigger picture here, we're above the volume profile. This is the point of control here at about $54. So that in itself is a pretty solid thing because the average price right now people are viewing is right there at about $54, $55 as a good value. Okay. Same thing here with 0.68. This is another fib level 2 as well, a very strong fib level. So a lot of times that will work as a previous support or resistance level. We're still within the golden pocket though. So if you're not familiar, 0.65 to 0.618 is that golden pocket. So with us kind of being within that range, it's generally construed as not being an ideal entry level to try to get in because of the fact that you're kind of within a resistance level. That and the volume profile being really close to us, that point of control, I really don't think that we're like in a prime position for a breakout, but it does look like we're going to gravitate more towards up than down here. And the reason why I say that is just because we've established, and again, this is on smaller time frames, we've established higher highs and higher lows so far. We're in a channel. Again, keep in mind these channels can definitely break to the downside. If you look at this, it could be a very beginning of a bear flag pattern. So a lot of reasons to be mindful, but not to just jump blindly in. Because again, when I see volume being very low, that's usually a red flag for me to just kind of avoid it altogether, unless I'm considering a short and there's a lot of contributing factors. Let's look at the Ichimoku cloud and see where we're at here. This is again where things get kind of funky or good, depending on how you look at it, good or bad. Right, so lag and span is free and clear, but it's not not going to be clear much longer, right? Conversion lines above the baseline, that's a positive. generally, but we are not above the cloud. We're riding the cloud almost perfectly. Okay, so that's not a good sign. We're above this previous ascending trend line, but that's honestly just a lie on the chart at this point, just kind of giving us perspective on the big picture. And truth is here, we're right in that golden pocket / resistance zone. So again, do you buy into a resistance zone? No, you typically let that zone get broken first and then buy the next dip, or so what I'm getting at here is it's probably easier to see in the 4-hour time frame, but we got this support zone here, right, based on volume. So if we look at this here, the next time to consider buying in is when the price breaks through this resistance range and comes back down to retest and then continues higher. That's generally what you're looking for. But right now we're kind of in this weird little zone here. I think it's a little premature to jump in, but again, if you do end up taking a trade, I just got to kind of preface this or let you know to conclude the conversation. Low leverage, low position size is king. Most of our community members are super consistent with my trade signals or their own trades because they're using low leverage. I know it sounds kind of weird and crazy. Oh no, my gains, I could have 10x today, but I only 2x today. I get that there's frustration there, but when there are losses, the losses are a lot less severe. And it's all about surviving too. I don't know if you know this, but like this is, again, most statistics are made up on the spot, but generally speaking, 85 to 90% of traders are unsuccessful. You've probably heard that statistic. I think that's relatively true. They are unsuccessful because they trade with emotion and they don't take profits when they should, or they're using too much position size and or too high leverage. Leverage shouldn't even be a thing, people. You got to realize that. So if you're going to use it responsibly. Anyways, just some friendly advice there. Be careful in how you trade right now. The low volume is a concern for me personally. So I'm hoping it goes up, but until we can kind of clear this like $55 range, I think that we're not going to see that happen. However, keep in mind again, once we clear 55, I think 58 to 60 is a pretty strong likelihood for the price action to shoot up. So that's a pretty solid consideration. Again, you could see somewhere in the 8 to 10% gain from here, depending on the position, okay? So hopefully that works out well for you. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something today. And obviously, make sure you trade on Bitunix, phenomenal exchange, link down below. I like to promote them because there's no KYC or VPN required, and our community just loves them. Okay? So I love them too. They've been doing very well for our community, so greatly appreciate that. If you do want to become something more of a trader, a better trader, consistent trader, cryptocash.tech, look no further, got you covered. I look forward to working with you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.